Record to the cloud. Hi, everyone. It's Mary Jane Cox, known as the Phone Lady. And this is my first video message that relates to the challenges we heard from CEOs and senior executives in our 2025 survey on phone and video communication trends. The challenges, the information, almost 200 senior executives shared with us not only relates to phone and video, real-time conversations as well. So the challenge I'm going to focus on today is all about answering questions. Before I get to that, I want to share with you a question I hear all the time, which is why are people struggling with conversation skills? There are very specific reasons. And to really understand them, we want to take a look at the generations that have been in the workplace since the 1970s and the technology that has come into our lives since the 1970s. So let's take a look. So this is a chart of all the generations that have passed through the workplace, the workforce, um, since the 1970s. And in this next bit of information I'm going to share with you, I'm doing some rough math or I'm making some assumptions. And that is that in each decade, people were still in the workforce at the age of 65, and other people were entering the workforce at the age of 19. So here's what we end up with. In the 1970s, there were people in the workforce that were born between 1905 and 1960. And we were using landlines. We were using the postal service. We were meeting face to face. That's what we were doing. In the 1980s, landline usage actually increases, as does, because of, I should say, answering machines and cordless phones. And fax machines emerged, so the postal service took a little bit of a hit. In the 1990s, we've got the internet and email starting to show up in our lives. We've got early mobile phones. Most of them are large and expensive, but some of us might remember carrying around a lovely little BlackBerry. We've got four generations in the workplace born between 1925 and 1980. In the 2000s, we now have text messaging becoming popular. We've got social media becoming popular and more affordable, right? And we still have four generations in the workplace born between 1935 and 1990. 2010s, we have smartphones. We know they're very commonplace. We've got video calls, very accessible, and we've got instant messaging happening on platforms such as WhatsApp and Facebook. And we've got five generations in the workplace born between 1945 and 2000. And here we are in the 2020s, and we are totally relying on digital communication. We've got AI coming into that communication, and social media continues to evolve. And so we also still have five generations in the workplace, individuals born between 1955 and 2010. So when we look at this, we can see that in the 1990s, this shift to digital communication started to take place, and that there started to be a decline in phone communication. And so from that moment on, it's quite possible that some of your team members, first of all, many of them would never have had a phone on the kitchen wall. Some of them may never have even heard someone talk on a phone. They have been communicating by text messaging, by instant messaging, by email, maybe by video as well. So the skills that the previous generations had to have, but didn't consider a skill because they used the phone at home as well as in their career, aren't being used. They aren't being heard. And as a consequence, all of us have to mentor, train, and support individuals when we want them to have great conversation skills. So the challenge in today's video is, what if I don't know what to say? I don't have the answer. Many senior executives and CEOs shared this with us. Some of the comments were a lot of pressure from clients to have the answer immediately. Live conversations are a stressor for many of our employees. They do not feel equipped to answer the customer's questions, feeling that they need to have all the answers to every question, or having the impression that they will not be able to answer questions on the spot. So, skill number one, taking the time to think. We don't have to be rapid fire in a real time conversation. It's okay to pause. And I think we can compare this to digital communication. Sometimes when we're texting or emailing, it does go back and forth really quickly. But lots of times there's a pause, right? Somebody maybe asks us a question, we have to think of the answer, and so on. So pausing in digital communication is perfectly acceptable. And it's perfectly acceptable in a conversation as well. I'm going to give you a little bit of scripting to work with here. So we can say something like, let me think about that for a minute. Or, let me think about that. And in the meantime, you can tell me more about this. So you're speaking with someone, speaking with a customer on the phone or on video, and they need to think for a moment. All they need to do is say that that's what they need, and they can take that pause. I want to share with everyone what I think is the best example of using pause. And this is in a radio interview by Matt Galloway of CBC's The Current. He's interviewing Daniel Fried, who's a diplomat and really has amazing, amazing conversation skills. They are talking about that iconic, I guess, February meeting in Washington between Ukraine's President Zelensky and the US President Trump and Vice President Vance. It was such a contentious meeting. And Matt is asking very pointed questions to Daniel Fried about this meeting. And Daniel Fried, being a diplomat, knows how to take the pause. So the link is here. The live link is available in a PDF download, and it's available in the video description here. You can hear this pause at 17 minutes and 10 seconds if you want to scroll through and don't want to listen to the whole program. That's the most amazing pause, is the one at 17 minutes and 10 seconds. And then there's an earlier one, slightly different, still valuable, at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. I really encourage you to share that example with your team. Skill number two is all about making a promise to find the answer and call back. One of my earliest lessons as an entrepreneur was that I built trust and relationships with clients by making promises and keeping them. So we want team members to know that no one knows all the answers. No one. And what customers and prospects want to be confident in, though, is that you'll find the answers and you'll get back to them. That's where we build the trust. We strengthen the relationship. We make the promise to find out, and we do when we follow up. So here's some language about that. That's a great question. Our tech team would have the best answer for you. I'm going to reach out to them immediately, and I'll make sure to follow up with you before the end of business today. Now, that follow up, by the way, could be the tech team is still working on this. The follow up has to take place. Another option, and in this one, I'm visualizing a customer service team where, there are shifts. So there's turnover in who's going to process requests from customers. So you might say, I don't have that information at the moment, but I can definitely find out. Either myself or one of my colleagues will get back to you as soon as possible. If you don't hear from anyone by noon tomorrow, call us back. So please feel free to share this video with colleagues, with your team. That's my aim in creating it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for signing up for the list. All the links mentioned in this presentation are included in the video description, and the slide deck is also available as a PDF. If you've got questions or comments, do get in touch. Phone, email, website. See you next month.